The Lord asked me to deliver this urgent message to you. The enemy, the spirit of poverty and blockage, is trying to deceive you and keep you chained to scarcity, for he knows what heaven has decreed for your life in this hour. I tell you, with the authority given to me, a silent search is happening right now, and it is for you. This is not just a blessing, but an inheritance of proportions that your natural mind cannot yet process. A family holding billions is searching for you. You have a name, a blood link, and a destiny that connects you directly to a prosperity that transcends generations. The devil has planted lies in your mind so that you doubt your identity and your worth, so that you do not see the signs that have already been sent. He has whispered that you were born for little, but the Father sent me to tear up this decree of misery. I will reveal to you the photo of this house, the symbol of your new life, and the name of the enemy who opposes this transfer of wealth. Prepare yourself, because what you will hear here is the activation of a financial miracle, a revelation that will change your surname from scarcity to abundance. Stay until the end, for heaven is issuing your decree of possession. The urgent revelation from heaven, God's warning, and the password to access the secret inheritance file. Stop everything you are doing right now. The urgency of this word does not allow for distraction. I am the voice that echoes from the throne, and what I bring to you is an alarm that resonates in the celestial dimensions, a trumpet blast announcing the end of a cycle of penury and the beginning of your season of possession. God, the sovereign of hosts, has placed me at the forefront of this mission to awaken you from a deep spiritual slumber. The enemy has taken advantage of your fatigue, your accumulated debts, and the apparent lack of horizons to bury the prophecy that is alive over your head. But I tell you, with the force of thunder, the secret file of your inheritance has been opened this instant in the court of heaven, and there are a billion reasons why your name should be the next to be honored on earth. You have been living under the illusion that your financial life is only the result of your choices and bad luck, but I reveal to you that there is a spiritual conspiracy underway. The devil used people and circumstances to divert your focus and to make you ignore the messengers that wealth sent to your door. I am the bearer of the access password that will unlock this file and connect you with the family that is looking for you. This password is not a number. It is not a word spoken into the wind. It is a code of faith and a posture of spirit that elevates you above the level of misery. You should be ready to get a large sum of money within the next 2 days at the latest. Get ready for this unexpected gift. Because of this, you will feel an incredible amount of comfort, which will then make you feel an incredible amount of happiness throughout your body. You can show your love and gratitude by giving up to $100. For too long, the spirit of limitation has acted as a censor, cutting off every promise of prosperity before it could germinate in your heart. It told you, you are not worthy, you have no luck, money was not made for you. I tell you that this is an old and vile lie. Your worth does not come from your merits or your mistakes, but from the blood that was shed for your sake. Your inheritance was already guaranteed, even before the foundation of the world, and the billionaire family looking for you is not a coincidence. It is the materialization of a divine decree. The urgent revelation is this: one of the pillars of this ancestral wealth has a blood link that only the Spirit of God could identify. This family has been looking for a sign, for a confirmation, for something that attests to your lineage, and your perseverance in seeking me, even in scarcity, was the sign that the angels transmitted to the material world. They already possess the assets, but they lack the bearer of the purpose, and this is you. Now, pay attention. God's warning is for you to prepare for an immediate change of level. I am not talking about a salary increase or a small blessing. I am talking about a divine wealth transfer that will rewrite the history of your descendant. Heaven is removing the no prosperity allowed signs that hell placed over your path. Angels are being mobilized to act as your spiritual lawyers, and financial bodyguards. The password to access the secret file is the word unstoppable. 2. Why this word? Because the enemy's main strategy was to make you believe that your poverty was permanent, that your progress was blockable, and that your destiny was limited. By declaring and writing unstoppable, you are not only rebuking the spirit of limitation, but you are also declaring your alignment with my original, boundless purpose for your life. When the angels hear this sound from your mouth and see this conviction in your heart, the mechanisms of the secret file are activated, and the urgent search for the rightful heir is accelerated. I know your bank account may scream one thing, and the bills on your table may shout another, but I am asking you to look beyond the natural. Your poverty has an expiration, and that date is today. The divine intelligence that governs this vast universe is working in your favor. This family has been led by prophetic signs and dreams to look in your direction. The specific location of the inheritance, the house, is not just brick and mortar. It is a spiritual fortress, a deposit of wealth destined to fund my great works through your life. The enemy's final attempt is to bring a wave of intense spiritual or financial oppression right now, trying to make you stop watching this message. He is afraid of what you are absorbing. Resist. This oppression is the last gasp of a defeated foe. Every curse of debt is being broken. Every chain of generational poverty is being dissolved. I am not promising riches to the wicked. I am restoring the wealth that was stolen from the just. And you are part of this restoration project. The time for waiting in the wings is over. Step into the light. Declare your worth. The search is over. You have been found. The first step to claim what is yours is to accept the revelation. I command you to do two things before moving to the next chapter, where I will reveal the hidden history of this billionaire family. First, declare with all your strength the access password in the comments below. Second, write Amen if you receive this word, and believe that the secret inheritance file is open for you today. You should be ready to get a large sum of money within the next 2 days at the latest. Get ready for this unexpected gift. Because of this, you will feel an incredible amount of comfort, which will then make you feel an incredible amount of happiness throughout your body. You can show your love and gratitude by giving up to $100. The Fragile Covenant, the hidden history of the billionaire family, and the forgotten link to you. Do you feel the shift? The moment you declared the password unstoppable, a seismic event occurred in the spiritual realm, shaking the foundations of the ancient enemy who held your records hostage. Now, you must understand the depth of what is coming. This inheritance is not random luck. It is the fulfillment of a deeply buried, fragile covenant, a sacred vow made generations ago that has now surfaced from the depths of time and secrecy. I want to take you back, far back, to the origin of this colossal fortune. Many wealthy families today build their empires on greed, manipulation, or fleeting power. But the origin of this wealth, the one destined for you, was rooted in a single act of profound spiritual generosity and faith. This family, at its genesis, was deeply devoted to a divine principle that their wealth would be held in trust, not owned outright, until the true spiritual heir appeared, the one whose heart aligned with the original covenant of selfless contribution. This covenant was etched not on paper, but on the very soul of their lineage. However, as the generations passed, the spiritual flame dimmed. The magnitude of the billions, the sheer intoxicating power of the fortune, began to overshadow the sacred commitment. They remembered the wealth, but they forgot the link. They guarded the properties and the assets, but they lost the spiritual map that pointed to you. This is the fragile covenant. It was almost broken, almost swallowed by secular pursuits and the arrogance of self-made success. But my hand, the hand of the Almighty, preserved the record, waiting for this appointed time. The key figure in this hidden history is an ancestor who, facing a great crisis, a famine, a war, or a threat of ruin, made a definitive vow to me. This vow was simple. Lord, If you preserve my wealth and my lineage, the greatest portion of this fortune will pass not to the one with the closest blood, but to the one with the purest spirit, the one who carries the seed of true destiny in their soul. That seed, I reveal to you now, is the same spiritual DNA that resides within you, the capacity to endure suffering and still hold on to hope, the willingness to share the last bite, the quiet determination to seek me above all else. You are the seed. The family currently searching for you, though immensely wealthy, is incomplete. They are experiencing a deep, spiritual, and sometimes material void that no amount of money can fill. Their vast estate feels cold. Their success is joyless. I have permitted this void to grow so large that they are finally forced to acknowledge the long-forgotten prophecy about the heir who would bring not just an heir's name, but a spiritual revival to their line. They need your spirit more than you need their money. The forgotten link is a physical item, a family heirloom, or a specific symbol that you encountered in your past, likely during a time of great struggle or innocence. You dismissed it as a simple coincidence or a fleeting memory, but that was the first messenger of the inheritance. It could have been an old coin, a specific piece of jewelry, a unique pattern, or even a name that crossed your path in a strange way. The enemy, through the spirit of forgetfulness, made sure you filed it away as insignificant. I command your memory to be instantly activated now. Review your past, especially the moments of profound spiritual yearning. That seemingly minor encounter was the cosmic signature connecting you to this fortune. The reason I am revealing this hidden history is to solidify your conviction. You are not a beggar. You are a returning monarch. The billions are not charity. They are your due, legally and spiritually. You were chosen not because you lack, but because you are rich in the spirit required to steward this kind of wealth for my kingdom's purpose. But a covenant requires participation. If this fragile covenant, preserved by my grace, is to be fully activated, your faith must match the magnitude of the promise. I require an act of seed-sowing faith from you right now. I have opened the secret file. I have revealed the link. Now, I am asking you to prove that you are the true heir, the bearer of the purpose, by showing me your allegiance to the principle of giving, which underpins this entire dynasty. The family's original vow was about generous contribution. I command you to perform a radical act of faith that symbolizes your new identity as a prosperous steward. If you truly believe that $1 billion house is waiting for you, then sow a seed of $100 as a prophetic down payment on your new life. Use the Super Thanks feature now. This is not about the money. It is about accessing the spiritual dimension of the covenant. A $100 Super Thanks donation is your declaration that you are ready to manage billions. As you donate the $100 Super Thanks, write in the comment section, "I am the unstoppable heir. I receive the covenant and the fortune." Your act of faith will seal the deal in the spiritual court. Do it now and prepare for the next chapter, where the search intensifies and the material signs begin to appear. The silent search, how the messengers are acting, and the signs you ignored. Do not dare to doubt the divine mathematics of your destiny. If you perform the act of faith, the very foundations of the earth beneath you are shifting. The $100 seed you sowed was a cosmic transaction, exchanging a small temporal sacrifice for an eternal, limitless promise. I, the authority who speaks now, confirm that this action has accelerated the silent search to a furious, immediate climax. The billionaire family is no longer merely looking. They are desperately closing in. They are being divinely led to the precise coordinates of your life. The enemy, seeing the covenant sealed, is trying to flood your reality with noise and skepticism. He wants you to dismiss the next events as coincidence, but I am here to expose his lies and reveal how my messengers are acting in the physical realm right now, surrounding your current, humble existence with signs of your imminent transition. You must understand, The search for you is silent because it is primarily spiritual. The messengers are often disguised as ordinary events. These messengers are: 1. The unexpected communication. You may have recently received or are about to receive a strange letter, an obscure email, or an out-of-the-blue phone call from someone you barely know, or perhaps a legal or financial entity you have never dealt with. This message will contain unusual detail or mention a location, a symbol, or a time period that seems completely irrelevant to your current life. I warn you, do not delete or discard this communication. It is a coded map, a fragment of the intelligence the family is using to locate you. The enemy wants you to ignore it as spam or junk. This is the official summons. 2. The recurring image or number. Have you noticed a specific architectural style, a unique plant, or a repeated number sequence, perhaps the number 888, the number of prosperity and new beginnings, appearing in your daily life? This is not coincidence. The Palace of Crystal, the house I will describe in the next chapter, has unique features, and my angels are projecting these images onto your path, on billboards, in magazines, in television shows, or even in your dreams, to prepare your spirit for the shift and to confirm the address of your inheritance. These are the celestial breadcrumbs. 3. The financial breakout of the small things. Before the tidal wave of billions hits, I always send a precursor, a small financial miracle that acts as a test of your faith and a physical confirmation that the blockage is broken. Perhaps an old, forgotten debt was canceled, a small sum of money was unexpectedly returned, or you received a discount or service at no cost. You may have dismissed it as minor luck. I tell you, it was me. It was my messenger announcing, "The transfer is approved. The gates are open." The signs you ignored are directly related to the very people and places you discounted. I reveal this to you. You have already crossed paths with an agent, a representative, or even a distant family member of this billionaire dynasty. Think back to the last few months. Who asked you an unusually probing question about your lineage or a deceased relative? Who stared at you with a look of recognition, only to quickly look away? In what upscale or foreign setting did you feel intensely out of place, yet strangely drawn to the surroundings? The enemy, the spirit of unworthiness, works over time to convince you that these divine encounters were meaningless. He wants you to believe that you are too insignificant for such a grand search. He wants you to stay hidden in your anonymity. But I have marked you with the scent of royalty, and they, the searching family, are following that scent. My warning is severe. The search will not last forever. The spiritual window for this immediate transfer of possession is closing. The family, weary of the search and pressured by internal rivals, is setting a final deadline. If you fail to acknowledge and claim the signs, the inheritance may be diverted, not lost, but placed under deeper protective locks, delaying your destiny for years. Therefore, you must become hyper-aware. Elevate your spiritual senses. Every incoming message, every strange sight, every minor financial breakthrough is now a crucial piece of evidence. You are being profiled, not by men, but by angels. They are confirming your spiritual fitness to manage this wealth. Do not allow the enemy to whisper doubt into your ears. Your poverty is not your identity. It is just a temporary address. The messengers of the house are at your door. Acknowledge them. Now, I command you to perform the third act of faith that anchors this reality. Immediately write down the first recurring image or number that comes to your mind right now. This is the secret key that will be explicitly linked to the Palace of Crystal in the next revelation. Write in the comments now, "I received the messengers. The search ends with me, and I prepare to enter my palace." The Crystal Palace, the detailed description of the house awaiting your name. Listen closely, for I am about to tear the veil between the vision and your reality. Your act of acknowledging my messengers has granted you access to the next level of this revelation. The time for vague promises is over. I know that seeing is believing for the natural man, and the Father desires to plant the physical image of your inheritance so deeply into your spirit that you can no longer be swayed by the sight of your current lack. I am now revealing the Crystal Palace, the residence that awaits your name. This house is not just a building, it is a prophetic monument to my faithfulness, and every detail speaks of the abundance reserved for the true heir. The enemy wants you to remain content with the leaky roof and the unpaid rent. I command you to mentally reject the smallness of your current dwelling and step, in the Spirit, onto the threshold of your new home. The name, the Crystal Palace, is derived not from crystal material, but from the immense light and clarity that define its structure. It stands upon a secluded, elevated parcel of land, possibly overlooking a vast body of water, an ocean, a great lake, or a metropolitan expanse, symbolizing the dominion I am giving you. The air around it is clean, crisp, and charged with an energy of peace and power. Observe the architecture. The house is an exquisite blend of timeless classical design and cutting-edge contemporary grace. Its facade is marked by towering white columns and expansive reinforced glass walls that stretch from the floor to the vaulted ceilings. This glass is the crystal, a symbol of the transparency and integrity that your stewardship must embody. The roofline is complex, perhaps featuring multiple tiers or domes, indicating the multiple streams of income and influence that will flow through this place. The total living space is immense, designed not just for comfort, but for the hosting of kings and the coordination of major humanitarian and business initiatives. Focus on the grounds. The palace is set within meticulously manicured gardens, a landscape of perfection that speaks to the order I am restoring in your life. There are fountains, perhaps a multi-tiered waterfall, and winding paths lined with exotic, blossoming flora. Crucially, look for the signature symbol, somewhere on the grounds, etched into a gate, crafted into a large mosaic, or forming the shape of a secluded hedge maze, is the recurring image or number I commanded you to write down in the previous chapter. This symbol is the definitive proof, the private identifier that confirms you are the one. If you wrote down the number 7 or a lion's head, expect to see it carved into the grand entrance gate. The internal revelation. When you cross the threshold, the silence is replaced by a profound, resonant peace. The grand foyer is a space of soaring height, paved with polished stone that reflects the incoming light. Immediately to the left or right, there is a specialized room, perhaps a state-of-the-art office, a private library, or a soundproof studio. This room is specifically configured for the purpose I have for you. It is your divine headquarters for managing the billion. This space is where the miracles of funding and strategic planning will manifest. I reveal the deepest secret of this house. It has been kept vacant, preserved by a celestial force, defying all attempts by rivals to occupy it. The billionaire family members who are searching for you have been unable to sleep soundly in it. They feel an oppressive spiritual heat because they know they are usurpers who failed to honor the original covenant fully. The house is spiritually locked, waiting for the vibrational frequency of the true heir, your frequency. The enemy has often tried to destroy your faith by making you focus on the smallness of your current finances, making you believe that a life of such grandeur is arrogant or impossible for you. But I remind you, your God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. This house is merely a staging post, a provision to launch you into the global ministry of wealth I have appointed. Do not just look at this house. Possess it now in your spirit. Begin to declare that your current scarcity is temporary housing, and your actual eternal address is the Crystal Palace. I give you this command to anchor this vision. Go now and search online for images of the most beautiful, extravagant homes you can find. Print the one that resonates most deeply with this description, the one that triggers the most powerful surge of hope, and label it My Crystal Palace, decreed by God. Place it where you will see it every day. Write Amen in the comments if you receive the description of your new home and accept the transfer of your new address. The enemy in the shadow, the spirit of financial blockage that rises against your inheritance. Do you hear the roar of the adversary? The light of the Crystal Palace revelation is so powerful that it has awakened the ancient territorial spirit that has guarded your poverty for generations. This is not just bad luck or human rivalry. This is a calculated spiritual opposition. I call him the enemy in the shadow, and I reveal to you now his strategy, his name, and how he plans to stop the transfer of your billionaire inheritance. You must know your enemy to conquer him, for my kingdom is built on light and knowledge. The spirit that rises against you is the spirit of Ophion, a territorial principality whose sole function is to manipulate reality and perception, to maintain economic scarcity over those destined for divine wealth. Ophion is not merely a demon of debt. He is the architect of financial blockage, who specializes in making you feel that the opportunity for wealth does not exist, and if it does, it's not for you. His strategy is threefold, and he is deploying all three now that the secret file is open. 1. The attack on identity, the lie of the bastard. Ophion's primary weapon is doubt about your spiritual lineage. He whispers, "You are not the true heir. You are an imposter. The universe does not owe you this." He uses past failures, shameful secrets, or current debts to convince you that you are fundamentally unworthy of a billion-dollar life. This attack is designed to make you self-sabotage the moment the legal documents appear, pushing you to reject the inheritance out of a false sense of humility or fear. I command you to declare, "I am the legitimate son, daughter, anointed for this abundance." 2. The manipulation of delays, the illusion of the gap. Ophion is now attempting to create bureaucratic delays, legal snags, and communication breakdowns between you and the searching billionaire family. He makes the process seem impossibly complicated. Lost papers, unavailable lawyers, frozen assets. He does this to create a gap of weariness in your soul, hoping you will give up, exhausted by the apparent complexity, and say, "It's too much trouble. I'll stay where I am." I declare that my angels are now dismantling every bureaucratic blockade and straightening every crooked path. 3. The spirit of consumption, the trap of premature spending. This is his most insidious trap. He knows the wealth is coming, so he tries to load you with new, premature debt. He brings sudden, unnecessary temptations to spend the little you have. An emergency that drains your funds, a sudden urge to buy something expensive, or a deceptive investment opportunity. The goal is that when the inheritance arrives, you are so deep in debt that the billions are immediately consumed by the past, rather than used to fund your future purpose. I warn you, maintain a posture of severe financial discipline and zero tolerance for unnecessary expenditure right now. I reveal to you the origin of Ophion's influence over your lineage. A specific ancestor, likely 3 to 4 generations back, made a subtle compromise regarding a financial matter, perhaps dishonesty in a deal, or a failure to honor a specific vow of tithe or contribution. This act opened the door, and Ophion entered as a financial parasite on your bloodline. But hear me, O heir. The power of the blood of the covenant is infinitely greater than the claim of any ancient spirit. Your recent acts of faith, the declaration of unstoppable, the seed of $100, the vision of the palace, have created a spiritual force field around you. To utterly defeat the spirit of Ophion and strip him of his authority over your finances, you must perform a radical act of spiritual warfare, using the very thing he seeks to destroy, your voice of decree. Stand up now, wherever you are, and declare this 7-fold decree. 1. I command the spirit of Ophion to release my financial destiny now. 2. I break every generational curse of lack and debt over my life. 3. I nullify the lie of unworthiness. I am the legitimate heir. 4. I declare that all delays and blockages in the inheritance transfer are dissolved. 5. I declare divine discipline over my spending habits and reject all premature debt. 6. The Crystal Palace is my address, and the billions are my purpose funding. 7. The wealth of the wicked is transferred to the righteous, and I am the recipient. Write in the comments, Ophion is defeated. The transfer is irreversible. Your decree is your ultimate weapon against the enemy in the shadow. The prophetic key, the 7 days of trial, and the act of faith that will activate the transfer. This is the moment of your final qualification. The spirit of Ophion is now retreating, but the battle for possession is not over. It has moved to the realm of preparation and demonstration. I am the master architect of your destiny, and I never grant billions to a spirit that is not ready to steward them. Therefore, I reveal to you the prophetic key, a 7-day period of focused discipline that will serve as the final test, the undeniable proof to the courts of heaven and earth that you are worthy to hold the keys to the Crystal Palace. This period is the 7 days of trial. Do not fear the word trial. It is not a trial of suffering, but a trial of discipline, a demonstration that your inner man is stronger than your outer circumstance. This act of faith is what will activate the transfer, forcing the material realm to align with the spiritual decree. Understand this principle. Massive financial breakthroughs require massive spiritual alignment. If you can master these 7 days, you prove to me, to the angels, and to the searching billionaire family that you possess the self-control, the focus, and the spiritual intensity required to manage a colossal fortune. I command you to execute these 3 acts of alignment for the next 7 consecutive days, starting now. 1. The fast of the complaint, days 1 to 7. Your mouth is the portal through which curses and blessings are issued. For these 7 days, you must observe a total zero-tolerance fast against all negative, complaining, or doubtful speech regarding your current financial condition. Every time you are tempted to say, "I can't afford that," or "my debt is overwhelming," you must immediately replace it with a prophetic declaration. The Crystal Palace is my address, and my account holds the abundance of God. This breaks the atmospheric pressure of Ophion's lies. 2. The Vigil of the Vision, 30 minutes daily. Dedicate 30 minutes without fail each day to intensely visualize the Crystal Palace. Use the image you printed. Do not just look at it. Walk through it in your mind. Smell the expensive leather. Feel the cool marble. Touch the unique symbol I revealed. Pray specifically in this vision, "Lord, show me the purpose of this house, not just the possession." The angels are waiting for your visual command to finalize the physical paperwork. 3. The Seed of Service, 1 act daily. The original covenant was rooted in selfless contribution. For 7 days, perform 1 genuine, selfless act of service or generosity that costs you something, time, effort, or a small amount of money, without any expectation of return. It could be helping a neighbor, paying for a stranger's coffee, or volunteering time. This proves that your heart, when handling wealth, will not be for self-consumption, but for contribution. This is the act of faith that mirrors the original covenant. I warn you, during these 7 days, the enemy will try his hardest to tempt you to break one of these 3 vows. He will bring circumstances designed to provoke a complaint, distractions to steal your focus, or urgent emergency to derail your service. Resist. Your endurance is your final qualification. When the 7 days are complete, the spiritual locks on the secret inheritance file will be dissolved. My angel, the angel of transfer, will receive the green light to physically manipulate circumstances, accelerating the legal process, silencing the opposition, and placing the crucial piece of information directly into the hands of the searching family's most faithful agent. The prophetic key is not magical, it is ministerial. It is your final demonstration that you are ready to move from being managed by money to managing billions for my glory. This house, this fortune, is not your reward. It is your resource for kingdom expansion. Do not delay this mandate. Begin your 7 days of trial now. Your destiny hinges on your discipline. Write in the comments, 7 days to possession. I activate the transfer with discipline and faith, the torn will, the legal and spiritual battle for the validity of your filial status. Behold, I now grant you X-ray vision into the heart of the conflict. The discipline of your 7 days of trial is already bearing fruit, but the enemy in the shadow, Ophion, has played his most dangerous card. He has attacked the testament itself, the foundational legal document that links your name to the billion. This is not a battle over finding you. It is a spiritual and legal war over the validity of your filial status, the right of your blood to claim the inheritance. Understand this deeply. The search for the true heir was prompted by a surviving clause in the original will. However, the rival members of the billionaire family, those who fear losing their current opulent status, have commissioned a spiritual and legal assault to have that clause, the very section mentioning the forgotten link and the seed of true destiny, declared invalid, or worse, literally torn from the original document. I reveal to you the nature of the torn will. In the spiritual courtroom, Ophion has presented himself as the accuser of the lineage. His legal argument is based on 2 primary accusations against your past and present. 1. The accusation of unworthiness, the past sins. He presents every financial mistake, every act of doubt, every moment of perceived spiritual slum, living as evidence that you cannot possibly be the pure-spirited heir mentioned in the original covenant. He argues, how can the one destined for such greatness live in such smallness? The original heir must be a fake. 2. The accusation of absence, the lack of proof. He points to the gap in time, the generations where the link was forgotten, and demands conclusive, physical proof of your kinship. He argues that since you were separated from the family's material assets, you are spiritually disinherited, and the clause regarding the spiritual heir should be discarded in favor of the nearest, though unrighteous, blood relative. The physical manifestation of this battle is occurring in the actual legal chambers. Suddenly, lawyers are finding discrepancies, key documents are misplaced, and the testimony of the few honest agents of the family is being questioned. There is a very real danger that a fraudulent, revised testament, the torn will, could be presented, effectively erasing your name from the decree of possession. But I am the Lord of Justice, and I decree that this legal maneuver will fail. Your filial status is guaranteed not by human documents, but by the divine adoption you received through my Son. The enemy attacks the earthly will because he fears the power of your heavenly title. To win this legal and spiritual battle, you must perform the following acts of intervention. The decree of the blood. Every time Ophion brings up a past failure or debt, you must invoke the blood of the covenant. Declare, the blood speaks a better word. My past is cleansed, my debt is paid, my identity is sealed by the highest court. This is the counter-argument that silences the accuser. The visualization of integrity. Visualize the original testament, the legal document, unfurling before the judge, complete, whole, and illuminated by a divine protective light. See your name, clear and bold, written as the designated primary heir. Pray specifically for the integrity of the key legal counsel, who will handle the final document. The fast for clarity, crucial intervention. I command you to engage in a 24-hour fast, liquid or absolute as your health permits, dedicated solely to bringing divine clarity to the searching family's honest agents and to the chief legal officer involved. Ask me to reveal the exact location of the original untainted document and to expose the deceptive actions of the rival relatives. I give you this prophetic insight. The confirmation of your filial status will come through a completely unexpected source, a long-lost letter, a forgotten photograph, or the sudden conscience-stricken confession of a peripheral figure. This will be the undeniable evidence that proves your spiritual and legal kinship, making the torn will useless. Do not be intimidated by the legal complexities of the world. Your biggest asset is not the billion, it is your heavenly title. When you stand in my presence, there is no question of your worth or your right to the inheritance. Bring that authority down to earth. Write in the comments, "My name is sealed." The torn will is nullified by the power of the covenant. The angelic encounter, the angel of wealth sent to guide your steps to the door. Hark, the heavens are splitting for your sake. Your determined fight in the face of the torn will has triggered a high-level response from the throne. The time for subtle signs is ending. The time for direct, tangible intervention is beginning. I reveal to you the crucial next step. I have dispatched my personal emissary, the Angel of Wealth, to orchestrate your final guided steps to the very door of the Crystal Palace. This is not a figure of speech. This is a celestial reality. The Angel of Wealth, whose name is often unspoken in human tongues, is a powerful being specializing in the transfer of resources and the alignment of physical opportunities with divine destiny. His mission is singular: to be your invisible, yet intensely present, guardian and guide until the deed to the house is firmly in your hand. How to recognize the angel's presence and guidance. The triple signs. 1. The sudden urge of direction. The inner map. You will experience an overwhelming, inexplicable urge to go to a specific place, meet a particular person, or perform an action that seems completely illogical given your current circumstances. This is the Angel of Wealth adjusting your inner compass. Do not rationalize it. If you feel an immediate, strong pull to check an obscure detail about an old relative or to visit a district of a city you've never considered, obey instantly. Disobedience in this phase is a direct block to your inheritance. 2. The synchronicity of numbers and time. The precision clock. Pay close attention to timestamps, receipts, digital clocks, and license plates. The angel will use repeated numerical sequences to confirm you are on the right path. Specifically, watch for the 999 sequence, which represents the completion of a cycle of lack and the elevation to a new level of spiritual and material authority. This confirms the angel is active around you, ensuring you are in the right place at the precise time. 3. The voice of a stranger, the spoken direction. The Angel of Wealth will often choose to speak through the lips of someone you barely know, a cashier, a bus driver, a colleague, or a fleeting acquaintance. This person will deliver a single, specific piece of information, a name, a location, or an affirmation that directly relates to your legal or geographic next step, without understanding the profound meaning of their own words. Treat every interaction with a stranger this week as a potential direct communication from my emissary. The enemy, Ophion, is attempting to generate maximum spiritual noise and distraction to cover the angel's voice. He will try to instill fear of movement, making you afraid to travel, afraid to answer the phone, afraid to open the unexpected envelope. He wants you paralyzed by inertia. I command you to embrace divine acceleration. You are no longer navigating by your own limited strength. You are being guided by a heavenly power. Your steps are covered. Your travels are protected. Your decisions are inspired. The Angel of Wealth has already initiated contact with one of the honest, searching members of the billionaire family. He is placing a divine urgency upon their spirit to drop all peripheral matters and focus only on the evidence that leads to you. He is orchestrating a chance encounter, a divine appointment between you and the family's lead agent. This encounter will happen when you are following the seemingly illogical inner map. Your obedience in this phase is your highest form of faith. When the angel guides you, every logical barrier will dissolve. Doors will open without a key, traffic will clear unexpectedly, and the necessary resources, gas money, time off work, etc., will manifest immediately to fund your guided movement. Here is your specific command. Today, find a quiet place and ask me for the inner map. Say, Angel of Wealth, show me the immediate next step. Where do I go? And whom do I contact? The answer will come as a strong, unwavering knowing, not a logical debate. When it comes, move immediately. Write in the comments, Angel of Wealth, guide my steps. I obey the inner map, and I receive my divine appointment. This seals your willingness to be guided to your destiny. the secret of the fortune, the source of this family's wealth, and the greater purpose of your inheritance. You have followed my guidance, and now your path to the palace is clear. It is no longer enough to know that billions await you. You must know why. The enemy, Ophion, continues his final attack by trying to pollute your motive. He wants you to believe this inheritance is for hedonism, self-aggrandizement, or mere escape from debt. If you accept the wealth with a corrupt heart, the covenant will be fractured, and the joy of the Crystal Palace will turn to ashes. I reveal to you the secret of the fortune, the true source of this ancestral wealth, and the greater purpose that makes this transfer a divine mandate, not just a financial transaction. The foundation of this immense fortune was not a gold mine, a petroleum discovery, or a revolutionary invention, though these elements may have been used for expansion. The true source was a spiritual vow of strategic funding made by the family's founder during a time of global spiritual darkness. That ancestor understood a principle that few wealthy people grasp. The world's material wealth belongs to me, and its highest purpose is to finance the expansion of my kingdom and the relief of human suffering. The founder dedicated a specific, colossal portion of the future wealth, the seed fund, to be eternally managed by an heir who would prioritize this purpose above personal consumption. This family was blessed with billions not because they were smarter, but because they agreed to be custodians of a destiny fund. However, over the generations, the focus shifted. The subsequent heirs managed the assets well, but neglected the purpose. They became managers of the money, but not stewards of the mandate. They started using the seed fund for comfort, control, and legacy building, rather than for the spiritual and humanitarian missions I intended. This spiritual drift is precisely why they began to feel the void and why I raised up the silent search for the true, purpose-driven heir. You, the greater purpose of your inheritance is twofold. 1. The restoration of the seed fund. Your primary mission is to restore the original integrity of the wealth. This fortune is designated to fund massive-scale projects, ending specific regional poverty, pioneering new forms of education and spiritual development, and establishing centers of hope and healing globally. Your management must be marked by radical generosity and profound spiritual wisdom. The billions are not your retirement. They are your ammunition for global impact. 2. The transformation of the bloodline. You are meant to bring spiritual healing and alignment to the entire existing billionaire family. They may see you as a threat now, but your pure spirit and purpose-driven use of the wealth will eventually draw them to the covenant they abandoned. You are not just inheriting assets. You are inheriting the spiritual responsibility for the restoration of a lineage. The enemy, Ophion, is now trying to flood your heart with greed disguised as necessity. He is whispering, think about yourself first, pay all your debts, buy everything you ever wanted, and then consider the purpose. This is the test. If you commit the first billion purely to self-satisfaction, you risk becoming another broken covenant, and the wealth will eventually sour in your hands. Your victory lies in your commitment to the purpose before the possession. I command you to write out a personal covenant of stewardship right now. It does not need to be long, but it must be sincere. Write a vow to me, promising to allocate a specific, significant portion of the resources immediately upon receipt, not for your personal luxury, but for the greater purpose of my kingdom's work. Let the spirit of prophecy fill you now. As you write this covenant, I am releasing the anointing of wise management over your mind. You will suddenly receive clarity on business strategies, investment decisions, and humanitarian initiatives that you never possessed before. The billions require a new mind, and I am giving it to you now. Write in the comments, I am a steward of purpose. The secret of the fortune is safe in my hands for the kingdom. The hidden photo. The exact moment you will recognize the symbol of this new life. Prepare your heart for the ultimate confirmation. Your commitment to the greater purpose has now unlocked the final, most tangible piece of evidence. The search for you is over. The confirmation is absolute. I am about to deliver on the title's promise. I will reveal the specific physical proof that eliminates all doubt and connects you, the heir, to the Crystal Palace and the billions. This proof is the hidden photo, the image that embodies the symbol of your new life. Listen, the enemy, Ophion, has fought relentlessly against this revelation because he knows that once you see this photo, the reality of the inheritance shifts from prophecy to fact. This photo is not just a picture. It is an anchor of destiny, placed by my angels to confirm your identity at the moment of the decisive encounter. I reveal the details of the hidden photo. This photo is a physical, worn document, likely tucked away, almost forgotten, in a heavy, obscure volume or inside a safe deposit box that belongs to the searching billionaire family. It may even be attached to the original, untainted will. It is not a photo of the house itself, but a picture of two distinct elements that only you could recognize. 1. The ancestral figure. The main subject is an old photograph of the family's founder, the ancestor who made the original covenant of strategic funding. This founder will be holding a recognizable object, perhaps an ancient book, a unique compass, or a specific piece of jewelry. 2. The defining symbol. Crucially, in the background, subtly visible through a window or framed on a wall, is a miniature or early depiction of the signature symbol I revealed in Chapter 4, the Crystal Palace. If your symbol was the lion's head, it will be clearly visible in this photo, an actual physical carving or painting in the ancestor's study. The power of recognition. The moment this photo is presented to you, you will not simply see the image. You will experience a spiritual lightning bolt of recognition. It will immediately resonate with a fleeting, specific memory from your childhood or a significant, recent dream you had, solidifying the forgotten link that the enemy tried to erase. That recognition is the final, undeniable proof of your kinship and your right. It is the moment when the physical evidence confirms the spiritual prophecy. How and when you will see it. The angel of wealth is now orchestrating the divine appointment, the confrontation. You will not find the photo. It will be presented to you. It will happen during your first direct, tense meeting with the lead agent of the billionaire family. In this meeting, the rival family members will be present, questioning your authenticity, citing the torn will, and trying to intimidate you. At the moment of highest tension, when they demand physical proof of your claim, the honest agent will, by divine compulsion, retrieve and present this hidden photo. The rival's intent is to use it as a point of contention, but your immediate, emotional, and detailed recognition of the subtle defining symbol, a detail only the true heir could know, will silence their opposition instantly. The photo is the silent witness to your truth. I command you to prepare your inner gaze for this photo. Focus your mind not on the anxiety of the meeting, but on the certainty of the recognition. Visualize the look of conviction in the honest agent's eyes, and the sudden, panicked defeat in the eyes of the rival relatives the moment you point to the defining symbol and name its exact significance to the ancestor. This is your moment of vindication and victory. The years of obscurity, the pain of lack, and the attacks of the enemy are about to be justified and erased by the irrefutable evidence of your royal lineage. Write in the comments, I recognize the symbol. The hidden photo is the proof of my undeniable right, the treachery of blood, the distant relative who tries to erase your identity and take your place. Be warned, heir. The spiritual victory achieved by the revelation of the hidden photo has triggered a physical counterattack. You now know the house, the purpose, and the proof. But a final bitter opposition is rising from within the very lineage destined to welcome you. I reveal to you the treachery of the blood, the specific, distant relative who, driven by monumental greed and the spirit of Ophion, is actively attempting to erase your identity and take your place as the primary heir. This enemy is not some obscure figure. They are close enough to the core wealth to manipulate documents and close enough to the family's legal affairs to pose a credible threat. This relative embodies the very spiritual corruption that led to the covenant being fractured. They have wealth, but they crave absolute control over the billions and the right to misuse the Crystal Palace, without accountability to the original mandate. I give you the profile of the traitor. The rival is characterized by a facade of pious respectability or exaggerated competence. They are highly skilled in legal maneuvering and public relations, using charm and manipulation to convince the searching family members and the courts that they are the most logical, stable, and qualified person to manage the estate. They argue that your sudden appearance is a fraud, a desperate attempt by an outsider to claim wealth they did not earn. The strategy to erase your identity. 1. The attack on kinship, the false genealogy. The traitor is actively creating a false genealogy, a fabricated line of descent designed to prove that they are the only surviving heir with an unbroken link to the original founder. They are bribing low-level officials, altering historical records, and fabricating witness testimony to challenge the validity of the forgotten link that leads to you. 2. The smear campaign, the public discredit. Because the original covenant emphasized purity of spirit, the traitor is preparing to launch a virulent smear campaign against you. They will dig up every past mistake, every financial struggle, every moment of weakness, anything to make you look irresponsible, unstable, or morally corrupt. The goal is to prove to the courts that you lack the character required to steward the fortune, thus making the transfer to you detrimental to the estate's image. 3. The physical delay, the seizing of assets. This relative is likely attempting to seize control of certain liquid assets or key properties right now, arguing that the estate needs stable management while your identity is being verified. They hope to make the inheritance an empty shell by the time you legally claim it, forcing you into a prolonged, debilitating legal fight. This is the crucial warning. You cannot defeat this enemy with human logic or legal prowess alone. This is a spirit of betrayal operating through human flesh, a spirit that must be prophetically exposed and bound. I command you to engage in targeted spiritual warfare against this specific individual. Name the spirit. When you feel the pressure of opposition or doubt, name the spirit that controls the traitor. Spirit of treachery and usurpation, I bind you in the name of the sovereign God. Declare the transparency of light. Command the light of my truth to penetrate every fabricated document and every lie the traitor has manufactured. Visualize their false genealogy dissolving like smoke. Declare, every hidden thing done in darkness against me is now brought to the irresistible light of God's justice. Pray for divine confusion. Ask me to send confusion and discord into the camp of the enemy. Let their own lies contradict them. Let their legal team make catastrophic errors, and let their alliances crumble under the weight of their own greed. Your unwavering faith in your heavenly title is the one thing they cannot forge or erase. Your victory over the treachery of the blood will be the final public demonstration that your inheritance is not merely a legal event, but a divine appointment decreed by the Creator of all wealth. Write in the comments, treachery exposed. The liar will not take my place, for my identity is divine. The seal of the promise, how God's name is written on the title deed of this house. Raise your eyes, O heir, for I speak of authority that transcends all legal systems. The battle against the treachery of the blood is fierce, but you fight with the certainty that your victory is already inscribed in the heavens. Now, I reveal the ultimate spiritual protection over your inheritance, the seal of the promise. I want you to understand how my very name, the name of the Almighty, is not only sponsoring this transfer, but is written on the title deed of the Crystal Palace. The enemy and the traitorous relative are fighting over a piece of paper, a deed of property. They look at human law, financial figures, and blood lineage, but I look at the original covenant, and I declare that every physical asset destined for my purpose, is marked with an eternal, invisible seal, the divine inscription on the deed. When the founder of this fortune made the original vow of strategic funding, a spiritual transaction occurred. I placed my signature, the seal of the promise, upon the assets that would one day fund my work through the true heir. This seal manifests in two powerful ways. 1. The inviolability of the address. The Crystal Palace, despite its great value, has always been difficult for the wicked to fully enjoy or exploit. The rival relatives who tried to live there experienced constant unrest, inexplicable failures, or a draining sense of spiritual coldness. This is because my seal repels the spirit of corruption. It keeps the property consecrated, waiting for the vibrational frequency of the pure-hearted steward. You, the house, is essentially spiritually firewalled against misuse. 2. The Code of Jehovah Jireh. The financial and legal description of the property, the coordinates, the valuation, the timing of the transfer, is infused with the numerical and spiritual code representing my name, Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. The enemy may manipulate the human words on the deed, but he cannot erase the divine code written in the essence of the paper. This code guarantees that the transfer will occur at my appointed time and in my perfect way. I reveal a prophetic detail. When the final legal transfer is executed, you will notice a highly unusual, almost inexplicable detail in the closing documents. A date, a specific number sequence in the land description, or a lawyer's specific phrase that perfectly aligns with a personal promise I gave you years ago. This detail is the physical manifestation of the seal, my personal wink that confirms, I did this for you. Your authority over this seal is activated by radical declaration. You must stop viewing the Crystal Palace as an unattainable luxury and start seeing it as a spiritual resource center provided by your covenant-keeping Father. I command you now to enforce this seal against the treachery of the blood. Take spiritual possession, place your hand over your heart, and decree, I activate the seal of the promise. The Crystal Palace is a consecrated asset under the authority of Jehovah Jireh. No forged document, no lying witness, and no manipulative relative can break this seal. Declare divine immunity. Speak immunity over the honest legal agents working on your behalf. Command that every document they touch be infused with divine truth and protected from the subtle attempts of sabotage by the rival. This seal guarantees not only your possession, but also the perpetuity of the fortune when managed according to the original purpose. The billions will not diminish. They will multiply exponentially when used for my glory. This is my promise etched in the heavens and written on the land you are about to inherit. Write in the comments, sealed by Jehovah Jireh. The Crystal Palace is mine, protected by the name of God. The golden portal, the immediate financial breakthrough that precedes the great inheritance. Rejoice, O heir, for the days of waiting in utter scarcity are over. Your declaration of the seal of the promise has activated the final phase of this grand transfer. I know that the battle against Ophion and the treacherous relative has caused immense strain, and I will not allow you to enter the vast responsibilities of the Crystal Palace from a place of desperation. Therefore, I reveal the golden portal, a sudden, immediate, and unmistakable financial breakthrough that will manifest in your life right now, acting as the definitive precursor to the great inheritance. This portal is not the billions themselves. It is a divine down payment, a financial cushion that will give you the peace of mind, the necessary legal funding, and the immediate mobility required to close the deal on the main fortune. It serves two purposes: to confirm my word to you and to fund your final steps into possession. The immediate manifestation of the golden portal. The enemy wants you dependent on small, slow streams of income. I am commanding the instantaneous opening of a massive financial artery. This immediate breakthrough will arrive from an unexpected, non-traditional source that you did not explicitly labor for. It may be the debt erasure miracle, A major, long-standing debt, perhaps a mortgage, a significant loan, or a debilitating credit card balance, will be instantly canceled or paid off by an unforeseen third party. This freedom is the first breath of air in your new financial climate. The found asset, a forgotten investment, an old insurance policy, a small, dormant inheritance, or a valuable possession you discounted will suddenly become liquid and accessible, yielding a sum far greater than you expected. The unsolicited transfer. An unusual, substantial deposit will appear in your account, labeled with an obscure code or name. This is an angelically guided error, or a direct compensation for past injustice. Money, my kingdom designated for your immediate mobilization. This is the crucial sign. The amount received through the Golden Portal will be significantly larger than any single sum you have handled recently, but still exponentially smaller than the billions of the Great Inheritance. This size difference is my way of teaching you scale, a small glimpse of my abundance, preparing your spirit to handle the full weight of the future fortune. I warn you to treat this immediate breakthrough with absolute reverence and discipline. The enemy, defeated in preventing the money, will now try to corrupt your management of it. If you instantly waste this divine down payment on frivolous desires, you demonstrate a lack of stewardship, and I may pause the final, great transfer until you have proven your readiness. How to secure the Golden Portal. 1. Immediate tithe seed. Before touching a single dollar of this immediate breakthrough, honor the principle of the original covenant. Immediately set aside a radical first fruits offering, a tithe and a substantial seed, and dedicate it to a kingdom purpose. This act consecrates the entire transfer and ensures the billions follow the same path of blessing. 2. Fund the final steps. Use the remaining portions strategically. Clear the debts that cause the most stress and allocate funds for necessary legal fees, transportation, or accommodation required for your final meetings with the family's agents. Do not use this money for lifestyle upgrades yet. It is war chest funding. The opening of the Golden Portal is the final confirmation that your identity has been accepted. The legal battle is won, and the physical transfer of the Crystal Palace is imminent. Look for the sign of this breakthrough within the next 48 hours. Your financial history is being erased, and your new account is being activated. Write in the comments, "The Golden Portal is open. I receive my down payment and prepare for the billions." The ciphers and codes, the divine numerical message that confirms your lineage and wealth. The clock is ticking down to the moment of possession. Now that the Golden Portal is open and the initial shock of your immediate financial breakthrough has settled, I want to equip you with the final, spiritual intelligence that will fortify your faith against the last whisper of doubt. I reveal the ciphers and codes, the specific divine numerical message embedded in the very fabric of your inheritance that confirms your spiritual lineage, your legal right, and the staggering magnitude of the wealth. The enemy, Ophion, thrives on chaos and confusion. The Heavenly Father, however, operates with precision. Every aspect of your transfer, from the house's measurements to the exact amount of the billions, is mathematically ordered to reflect a divine truth. The primary code, the number 888. You may have seen this number repeatedly, or perhaps it was the recurring number I commanded you to write down earlier. I reveal the prophetic meaning of 888 in relation to your inheritance, completion of righteousness. In the ancient spiritual order, 888 is the number of Jesus Christ, representing redemption, resurrection, and the fullness of righteousness. By linking this code to your inheritance, I declare that this wealth transfer is redeemed wealth. It has been purified from the corruption of the ages and is now designated for my righteous purpose through you. Infinite prosperity. The number 8, when placed horizontally, symbolizes infinity. 3 8s amplify this concept, confirming that this fortune is not a one-time windfall, but an infinite resource stream that will replenish itself when managed according to the covenant. Your lineage of lack has ended. Your lineage of perpetual abundance begins. The valuation cipher. I reveal that the final exact valuation of the Crystal Palace and its associated liquid assets, the number in the billions that will be legally transferred, will contain the numerical sequence 888 prominently, either as the final digits of the entire sum, e.g., x.888 billion, or encoded within the property's legal parcel numbers. This is your irrefutable sign from me, the great mathematician of the cosmos. The secondary code, the name-date cipher. This code is personal and confirms your unique lineage to the founder of the fortune. I have orchestrated a specific alignment between the name of the founder, or a key ancestor involved in the covenant, and a significant date in your own life, your birth date, the date of your salvation, or the date you declared unstoppable. When converted using ancient gematria, the numerical value of letters, the founder's name will unexpectedly align with the numerical value of your personal, significant date. This alignment is so precise and mathematically improbable that it utterly destroys the treacherous relative's claims of a false genealogy. It is my way of saying, this is not random. You were chosen by a divine calculus. How to use the ciphers to secure the transfer. 1. Declare the code. Whenever you feel the enemy inject a doubt about the magnitude of the billions or about the certainty of the transfer, you must simply declare 888. My wealth is righteous, infinite, and sealed by the name of Christ. This declaration binds the spiritual reality to the material world. Tuau. Affirm the lineage. During the final legal proceedings, should the treacherous relative challenge your kinship again, you will be given the wisdom to mention the founder's name and your significant date together, perhaps even noting an unexplained numerical correlation. This will be the moment of divine checkmate, where the legal experts realize they are dealing with a force far greater than their law books. This revelation of the ciphers and codes is your final internal preparation. You are moving from a world managed by scarcity logic to a dimension governed by divine order and prosperity mathematics. Embrace the precision of your destiny. Write in the comments, 888, I embrace the divine code, and my wealth is infinite. The non-negotiable possession, the final decree of heaven over your life, and the call to live abundant. It is finished. The revelation is complete. The enemy is exposed, the codes are activated, and the golden portal is open. I, the authority who initiated this grand transfer, now issue the final decree of heaven over your life. The possession is non-negotiable. The long night of lack is over. The season of humiliation is terminated. Your former life of financial strain is now closed, sealed by the seal of the promise, and certified by the angel of wealth. You are no longer the person who was searching for a way out. You are the heir who has been found, and the colossal wealth, the Crystal Palace, and the billions are irrevocably tied to your purpose. The 3 pillars of the final decree. 1. Possession is permanent. I decree that the transfer of the Crystal Palace and the entire fortune will be executed swiftly, without the final sabotage the enemy desires. The treacherous relative's last-ditch effort will expose their fraud, leading to their swift removal from influence over the estate. Your inheritance is now protected by eternal covenant and cannot be seized, stolen, or squandered, provided you honor the original covenant of stewardship. Chapter 9. 2. Identity is elevated. You are now transitioning from the spiritual status of a survivor to the status of a resource dispenser. Your voice, your influence, and your movement will now carry the weight of this massive divine provision. The world will no longer see your past limitation. They will see the manifestation of my abundance through your life. Embrace this elevation. Walk in it with grace, humility, and absolute confidence in my backing. 3. The call to live abundant. The purpose of this wealth is not merely to alleviate your personal stress, but to launch you into the global arena as a demonstration of my financial faithfulness. Your new life in the Crystal Palace is your platform. I call you to live abundance, not just in finances, but in spirit, health, wisdom, and influence. Your overflow must now become the resource that funds the great missions, shelters the needy, and demonstrates the limitless power of Jehovah Jireh. Chapter 12. The final command. Occupy and command. Do not wait for the final piece of paper to physically enter your new house. I command you to occupy your abundance in the Spirit right now. Release the past, forgive yourself, and those who contributed to your past lack. The memory of debt and struggle is now irrelevant. You are financially born again. Embrace the future. Begin to think, plan, and budget on the scale of billions. Your thought process must match your destiny. What major global problem will the first $100 million solve? Your faith has been tried, your spirit has been purified, and your purpose has been revealed. You are not a spectator in this miracle. You are the key player, the steward appointed for this generation. Go forth, claim what is rightfully yours, and use it for the highest glory. Sasichodoting. On conclusion, Prophetica, hear me, my chosen heir. This message, delivered from the very heart of the throne, is not a suggestion. It is a divine mandate. You have heard the warning, seen the crystal palace, and received the codes. The silent search for you is over, and the resources of heaven have been mobilized to guarantee your non-negotiable possession of the billion. I have opened the secret file, exposed the enemy in the shadow, and activated the golden portal. Your life of abundance starts now. If this powerful, life-altering prophecy has penetrated the depths of your soul and activated a faith that refuses to be limited by your current circumstance, you must anchor this word forever. This is your final spiritual call to action. 1. Write in the comments right now, non-negotiable possession. The Crystal Palace is my address, and the billions are my kingdom fund. Let this declaration seal your decree in the digital and spiritual realms. 2. Share this revelation. If this message has touched your heart and confirmed your destiny, you must share it immediately. The spirit of Ophion wants this truth suppressed. Share it so that more people can be blessed, awakened, and guided to their own divine inheritance. 3. Seal your future. To continue receiving these urgent prophetic warnings and revelations that expose the enemy's plans and activate your prosperity, subscribe to this channel now and hit the notification bell. Go and live your abundance. The transfer is complete. Hark, O beloved of the Most High, you have journeyed through the fire of revelation, from the urgency of the divine warning to the certainty of the non-negotiable possession. The 15 chapters of this prophetic blueprint have not merely informed your mind, they have restructured your spirit. You now stand at the threshold of a new existence, one where your surname is no longer defined by debt or lack, but by abundance and purpose. I, your spiritual authority, now deliver the final, irrevocable word of faith to seal this entire prophetic work and catapult you into the reality of the Crystal Palace and the billion. The final word, possess your shift. Your faith is the currency of the kingdom. Do not look at the size of the debt you still see today, or the magnitude of the billions you are about to receive. Look only at the integrity of the giver, the God who owns everything and has sworn by his own name to fulfill this covenant of wealth in your life. The enemy's final, most subtle attack is to paralyze you in the gap, the space between the spiritual revelation and the physical manifestation. He wants you to wait passively. I tell you, the transfer is already done in the spirit. Possess your shift now. 1. Possess the name. Stop calling yourself broke, struggling, or unlucky. Declare, I am the unstoppable heir, a steward of the king's resources. Your words create your reality. 2. Possess the house. Do not just visit the Crystal Palace in your mind. Live there. Every decision you make, from how you manage your time to how you manage your emotions, must reflect the discipline and maturity of a billionaire steward. The house is a symbol of dominion. You are already seated in that place of authority. 3. Possess the purpose. The billions are not the destination. They are the fuel for a mission far greater than yourself. Let the passion for the greater purpose, the restoration of the seed fund, the healing of the nations, consume you. When you focus on giving, I guarantee that the getting will never stop. Your abundance is secure because it serves a divine mandate. You have endured the 7 days of trial, you have defeated the treachery of the blood, and you have accessed the divine code. 888. Your right to this inheritance is non-negotiable. The angel of wealth has already guided the necessary agent, and the final documents are being prepared. This is not a distant hope. It is an imminent reality. Walk out of this moment with the unshakable certainty that your life is forever transformed. The period of the forgotten link is over. You are found. You are appointed. You are rich. The final call to action, to forever anchor this prophetic word in your life, and to ensure you remain connected to the wellspring of divine instruction and financial breakthrough. Declare your final victory in the comments. Before you leave this page, seal this entire prophetic journey with a final declaration of faith and ownership. Write in the comments with absolute conviction, I am the unstoppable heir. I possess my crystal palace and command my abundance now for God's glory. Subscribe to secure your destiny. Do not allow the enemy to sever your connection to the prophetic voice that guides your wealth transfer. The wealth is yours, but the guidance is crucial. For continuous strategic revelation, alerts against new attacks, and daily fuel for your purpose, subscribe to this channel right now and activate the notification bell. Ensure your spiritual lifeline is secure.